All right, welcome, folks, to the first full-length episode of Binging and Bickering. I'm one of your hosts, Mike Stuglis, the gentleman seated to my right.
It's like you didn't know.
Right.
Yes. On your left, but his right, I'm Danny Stewart.
That's right.
Yes.
And today we are talking about one of the most, I would say, culturally significant characters in the past few decades.
Since, the 40s?
Yeah, I mean, that's when he was made.
Yeah.
First seen on screen in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
with-
No, there were cartoons in the 50s.
Yeah.
So there have been a very well-adapted, well-recognized character, probably as culturally significant in terms of bad guys as in terms of popular culture, Darth Vader. Probably right up there. Probably more so than Vader, if not.
Well, if you look on any top
These are the top 2.
10, top 100 movie list, this is right up there with like Lecter, Vader,
Yep.
a couple others. It's the Joker, if you guys can't read, which there have been many iterations of, and today we're just going to talk about a lot of them.
Yeah.
We'll start the day with talking about our personal favorites. After that, talk about our favorite Joker moment, per se, as sadistic as it might be. Separate from our favorite, because there's a lot of great moments out there. And then we'll end with our own dream casting and what we would do with the character, as if we know more than those assholes Christopher Nolan and Todd Phillips, right?
Yeah, but I don't want to.
Christopher Nolan's my hero. I'm just
Christopher
bullshitting.
Nolan, my favorite director and asshole. I think
No, he's
great.
the man.
All right, so let's kick it off with best Joker. Do you want to start?
I can start. Are we both in agreement that Heath Ledger's the best?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought
No
that was
question.
kind of a... Yeah, I thought that kind of speaks for itself.
But
He's the reason that Joaquin's was made. Joaquin's was excellent, great character study, but Heath Ledger's is for certain the best. I mean, he's chaos incarnate. Little plug there for the Character Theory website. Go check it out. But yeah, he's a great character. Are you going to talk about him? Because I can shift. I had something else planned.
So Heath Ledger's Joker is definitely like the pinpoint into modern cultural significance. Like he's the one that people will look at for years down the line and recognize that that is the basis we want to kind of create our Joker off of. And not every creative property of Batman or the Joker that you're going to see is going to be based off of Heath Ledger. But Jared Leto, when he got cast as Joker in 2016 Suicide Squad, I mean, he was getting like threats, like, why did you get cast in Heath Ledger's role? Like, people wanted the role of the Joker to just be done, even though he was an 80-year-old comic book character at the time. They didn't want anybody to ever play a live-action Joker again because, obviously, Heath Ledger, he received his Oscar for Best Supporting Actor posthumously. He died shortly after making Christopher Nolan's 2008 The Dark Knight. And I mean, it goes without saying, like, if you ask anybody who the best Joker is, unless, you're talking about, like some loyalists that talks about anything else, I think it's bar none, hands down, Heath Ledger's Joker.
I say culturally significant because I think the success of Nolan's movies kind of stirred this age of superheroes that we're in.
Yep.
And in doing so, every single comic book villain that comes to screen, it's like, how does it stack up against Heath Ledger? It's like the whole conversation around Joker was, how does it compare to Heath without people really giving Joaquin his due? It's just because that's the inclination. That's how great that character really is. But mine is, I to pivot a little bit and be a hipster, I love Mark Hamill in the Arkham series specifically.
Yeah.
And if you guys aren't familiar with that, the Arkham series is a video game series by Rockstar.
Rocksteady.
Rockstar does GTA. Yeah, Rocksteady. And he's voiced by Mark Hamill. And he's, I think, in terms of the voice of the Joker, kind of always what I picture. When I read comic books, I read
You
it
have to
in
read
Mark
it in his
Hamill's voice.
And Mark Hamill is the voice of Joker in the Arkham series because from 1992's Batman the Animated Series, Kevin Conroy is the voice of Batman and Mark
Yeah.
Hamill's voice of Joker. And those two, Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, I mean, Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker, but they've become like legends in voice acting because of their roles as Batman and Joker. They've been doing them on and off and consistently since 1992.
Yeah, well, what I really like about that Arkham series is it's kind of depicted like it's Batman against all of his villains, but it's at the core, it's a Batman and Joker story. You know, the first game, he goes to the asylum, which is overtaken by Joker, and you battle your way to him.
Yeah.
Second game, you know, he takes over Arkham City in so many ways, behind the scenes a little bit while battling an illness, and then he dies at the end. And then the third movie, game, I think of these games as movies because of how good the cutscenes are.
Yeah.
But the third one, you know, they depict Scarecrow and Arkham Knight like they're the big head honcho antagonist, but the climax of the game is Batman wrestling with his psychosis to not become the Joker.
Right.
And so I just love how he's present in all those games. Like in the third game, he's dead, but he's in the whole game because Batman's imagining him, Hamill's there, and you know, I just love how they use that character.
I think like the heaviness. I mean, this is where you could look at as like the Joker, because he's such an iconic character. By the point you got to in Arkham Knight, the most recent game in the Batman Arkham video game franchise, by the time you got to that point, it was like, I mean, Arkham Knight is too many Batmobile missions away from being like the best Arkham game. But I think like, you know, people loved the inclusion of the Joker, that he was in it in some sort of way, but that's also to a point to where it's like the Joker is maybe overused as a Batman villain, given all of the villains that are available to Batman. Everybody wants to come back to Joker because that character, regardless of how he shows up, is the number one every time. So ever since I think Arkham Knight, besides Todd Phillips' Joker last year, with Joaquin Phoenix's awesome performance, I think like there may be this shift to write about different in terms of the comic book realm or the video game realm for Batman, to write about different villains, but there's always going to be this pull for creators to write the next Joker story,
Because it's such a diverse character, you could do so many things with. I'm sure both our visions will be pretty different.
Yeah.
That's because of how, you know, how much you can do with him. There's so many unanswered questions. He's a big mystery.
Right. He still doesn't have like there only one origin story of his has been reused multiple times, and that's the Killing Joke comic, and it was made into an animated movie in 2016 starring Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill. But that origin story is, you know, that's been messed with a couple of times because Todd Phillips' Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, that's a completely brand new origin story for the Joker, and it was amazing. So there's still, even in this modern day, so many different ways you could create an origin story for this character, and that's why the Joker is just so unique as a villain, but also just so iconic because he could come from anywhere or anybody.
Who are some of the people we're leaving out? So there's Cesar Romero.
Cesar Romero was the original.
Nicholson, who we didn't mention. His is good. His is a lot of fun.
When Heath Ledger got cast as Joker for The Dark Knight, people were like, I don't want that gay cowboy from Brokeback Mountain to ruin Jack Nicholson's character. Because by that point, from 1989's Batman and Tim Burton's Batman to 2000, 7 or 6 whenever Ledger got cast. Nicholson was the guy.
Yeah.
And he was the performance.
His is very different, but it's a lot of fun in its own way.
Because he's playing, well, it's like Jack
He
Nicholson.
kind of knows it's a gimmick, and
Right.
he has a he. You know,
he's an incredible
pulls it off,
award-winning actor, one of the best ever, in my opinion. And he adds his own spin to the Joker, to where the Joker, similar to Batman in terms of a character study. The Joker is always adapted to rise up to be equal on the same level as his Batman throughout time. I mean, like 60s Cesar Romero, like he's kind of goofy because Batman has like shark repellent in his fucking belts, like the 60s was goofy, like, and then as 70s goes on, we get through Vietnam, we go through, we're going through the Cold War in the 80s. Batman becomes a little darker, and then you get Tim Burton directing it, and you get more of a darker murdering character. And the comic showed the same kind of reflection too, because The Killing Joke came around the same time as the original Batman movie. And then so you get to 2001, 9/11 happens, and then the biggest kind of enemy you could find in the modern world was like a terrorist. So then Ledger's Joker became a faceless terrorist with a clown face. And then you get to last year, and mental illness is kind of a big topic in the modern world. And Todd Phillips' Joaquin Phoenix Joker, he arises out of mental illness.
It's a very adaptable
character, right?
And to wrap up this section, it would be, there was the kid in Gotham. I can't remember his name. I never watched that show, but he's in the Jedi Fallen
Order game. Cameron Monaghan, I think
something
it is.
like that. Something like that. I know he plays him in Gotham. Michael Emerson did one in the Dark Knight Returns animated movie.
Yeah.
Troy Baker did it in Origins. He was good.
Yeah,
he was doing that out.
He was doing like a Hamill impression, kind of.
But I think that if we're leaving some out, let us know. Don't forget to comment your favorite Joker.
But the big five are kind of...
not. If it's Leto, do not share it. You're going to get shit on.
Romero, Hamill, Nicholson, Ledger, and Phoenix.
We don't have to get into a whole thing.
No, but those are kind of the big five.
Does Leto fall victim to... I think Jared Leto's a great actor. I think it's probably more of the kind of what he was surrounded with, not given enough. Can we agree on that? Just cut it short.
I would agree. Yeah, just not a good movie that he was in. I wish he got another chance to play him so we could have a real kind of opinion, because I feel like I just can't formulate an opinion on his Joker. There wasn't enough of him to really say whether or not he's best, worst, whatever. He just falls victim to a bad movie.
All right, so next we're going to move to most insane moment, which is kind of, just fitting for the Joker. So regardless of the Joker that you picked, when you think of the Joker, is like that moment?
So you can watch my favorite moment on Netflix right now. Batman Mask of the Phantasm is now on Netflix.
Is that an animated movie?
Yes.
Never seen
it. It's almost like the sequel to like the animated series, like the Batman the animated series. Mentioned it earlier. This is where Mark Hamill was like made himself the Joker as the voice. This was like this movie was like made in the style of Batman the animated series. It's an animated movie, and at the end of that movie, I mean I don't want to like spoil the whole movie, but like it's been out since 1993.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I'm fine.
You're good.
Maybe 95.
Yeah, you're good.
Mid 90s. So at the end of the movie, the Phantasm is like a new villain that's going around killing people connected to a certain crime in Gotham, and Joker was part of that crew. Batman finds out that the Phantasm he may know the Phantasm from his own personal life as Bruce Wayne, but Batman tries to protect the Joker actually from being killed by the Phantasm. In doing so, the Joker, kind of set up this gigantic plan, and the movie ends in this amusement park, and it's ready to blow. Batman basically like tells himself that he's going to like, I'm going to take us both out. They're flying around in a jetpack, and they crash down, and then the Phantasm reveals him or herself, and then like as the theme park is like like Joker's just like, I can't even like laugh right now, like he can't, like he just like can't believe like what Batman did. He says like, I can't like crack a joke or something like now, because like he just like couldn't believe that Batman was willing to kill himself to just stop Joker. Like it was one of those moments where like Joker was just like, whoa, like this guy actually views us as like equals, you know. And so once they crash land and Batman just kind of like realizes that he's done, he's caught, the Phantasm starts holding on to the Joker as the theme park starts to explode. And Joker just looks around and then just starts maniacally laughing for like 20 seconds. It's probably like, you've definitely heard the laugh before, but like it's just an insane.
So you think
laughter.
It's like a very defining Joker moment with like
yes.
the laugh, the
him
Batman
and Batman
relationship.
looking at each other as equals almost,
Yeah.
like him being shocked by Batman's choices, as well as just the laugh and the moment that it's in to climax off that movie. Like I just think like that moment is just like top tier Joker moment for sure.
Okay. I think that I was going through some videos on YouTube today, and I was really trying to pinpoint which one was my favorite because there's so many. I love the moment in Batman when he's flying. Batman's flying. What's I don't the bat,
and he's
shooting. He has the 5-foot gun that he pulls out of his pants, and he shoots down the bat. I would laugh for like 20 fucking seconds when I watched that. Because he pulls out like this 5-foot revolver, and he's like that
throwing money around.
That one was funny. Poisons Gotham. So Nicholson does a lot of absurd shit in that movie. Joaquin Phoenix killing Murray.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one. See the movie. Don't bitch about it being a spoiler. You should have seen it already.
Remember when?
That's a big one. The train station one. That's a pretty big eureka moment.
Yeah.
I always go back to, because I'm such a big lover of the bank robbery genre, Michael Mann's Heat, which Christopher Nolan says is a big influence on The Dark Knight. I think the opening of The Dark Knight is one of the best openings in a movie ever, because the Joker sets up this elaborate plan, which basically involves all the members of the heist doing their job, and then they clip one another throughout the entire thing. Big aha is he's in on it too. He's one of the guys, which you don't know the entire time. That's the whatever doesn't kill you makes you stranger. I think it just sets up the whole movie with Ledger's Joker. I just think it's the perfect jumping off point for Nolan, and it's just like chaos is what's expected going forward. It's going to be a lot of bodies, and I just love how it sets the tone for that movie. I would probably say the intro of The Dark Knight. It's so good. I love bank robberies, and that one pays good homage.
Without a doubt. I mean, like that character. I mean, we've already kind of gone in on Ledger's Joker a little bit, but to set up, I think there are 7 other bank robbers in that scene. If like I've seen the movie like 100 times, so
something like that.
Like I'm not gonna be ashamed if I don't know the actual number.
The one guy who's like, I'm done here, and he just gets shot in the back of the head.
And then so there are like 7 guys. And Joker planned the entire time to be the only one that walked out of that bank.
Yeah. The one bus driver who's like, oh, that's a lot of money. What happened to the other guys? And he just shoots him. He's not
like
even
behind his head. He's not even looking at him. Like he doesn't even because he just and I love how like
and
right
he
before
has
that
the swaggering walk in that scene.
Joker like tells the guy that like confronts him like no, I killed the bus driver. Like before the bus driver even comes in, that guy's dead. Yeah. So like I mean that's an incredible moment. What a way to open a film. That movie is. It depends on the day, really. But that movie is like without a doubt my second favorite movie of all time, and it's cause that scene. I mean, like, what a way to start a movie.
I also really enjoy. I mean, you could talk for days about Heath Ledger in that movie, but the end with the fairies is really good. But I really, really love the scene with Harvey after he burns his face off and turns
In
Maggie
the hospital.
Gyllenhaal into rubble.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the introduce a little anarchy where he holds the gun to his head. There's a lot of theories surrounding that scene. That's a good one, but yeah, there's a lot of great Joker moments, but I'll be simple and just say it's hard to not pick something in The Dark Knight.
There are too many. I mean, like, it's just like there's. I mean, like, in all sense of reality, like, my favorite Joker scene ever is the interrogation scene from The Dark Knight. But
It's
like
another one.
when I think of like the Joker, just that laugh, the iconic laugh, just everything like that Hamill scene from Phantasm is the best.
Yeah. I gotta watch that. I gotta catch up on the animated ones for sure.
They're
I've
great.
only seen like clips. Yeah, I've
I mean, like,
heard.
you love the Arkham series. Like, the Arkham series wouldn't be a thing if it weren't for the animated series.
I love the Killing Joke comic.
Yeah.
I thought the movie was kind of disappointing.
I mean, because they added in this like subplot about Batwoman and Barbara Gordon to kind of like set up the story, and they needed that 20 minutes to make it a movie. Because in all sense of reality, like, the Killing Joke,
It's
could
pretty
be
short.
it could be a half-hour like TV show.
That would have been fine with me, like
Yeah.
a special on HBO. But isn't it implied that after he shoots Barbara, he rapes her in that movie? Maybe I'm forgetting, but for some
In
reason
the
I felt like that
movie,
was implied.
less so. In the comic, without a doubt.
Shoots her and he says like it's a bit messy. I feel like it's something
In
like
the
he goes
co-
for
in the
her
co-
pants or something.
In the comic, he
he
does.
takes her shirt
I
off or
don't know,
something.
the movie. I forget the movie. I haven't watched it since we saw it and it came out in theaters. But I know for sure in the comic, like, he does like start to take her shirt off maybe, and then it cuts to a different scene. I don't remember if the movie does that. Maybe it does.
I don't remember.
Batman
It was
and
pretty forgettable.
Batman and Batwoman have sex on top of a building in that movie though. It's kind of awkward.
It almost got anime for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't click on that category.
No.
All right, let's move on. Let's
It always seems to be there though.
Yeah, it's like stop showing that Pornhub. All right, so so if you were, do you want to kick it off? Do you want me to kick it off this last one?
I kicked off Insane Moments, so you can kick off.
All right,
the
all right.
Dreamcast.
So dream casting. So
do a little snake draft.
if you were put yourself in Christopher Nolan's shoes, you're making your own Dark Knight movie. Let's
If you
say
have
your
the
own
bu- if
Batman
you have
movie.
the budget
No, your
of
own Joker
Christopher
movie. I'm
Nolan.
sorry, this is a
Your
Joker
own
movie. It's not a
Joker
Batman
movie.
movie.
Yeah.
You're making your own Joker movie. Who are you casting and what is the story? So, I'll start with a little story background. I've always loved and we've talked about it pretty in depth, the concept that Batman can't exist without Joker and Joker can't exist without Batman. I've always been a big fan of that. So, my dream casting would actually be someone who appeared in The Dark Knight Rises, which is Ben Mendelsohn, Australian actor. I like him a lot. So, specifically, one, he has a cackling smoker's laugh. If you've ever watched the show Bloodline, it's there constantly, just fucking smokes away, and he has this great, really dry laugh. It's excellent. You don't see it as much in these corporate roles he does, like Ready Player One and Rogue One.
Yeah.
Dark Knight Rises. Those villains are a little different, but if you see these characters he plays in like Bloodline, like I mentioned, Killing Them Softly. What's the other one I'm forgetting? Mississippi Grind. He
What's
plays
that one in the submarine?
Black Sea.
Oh.
He kind of plays that kind of villain, but he's really good when he plays these sleazy, vulnerable, like down on their luck kind of characters. That's when he really thrives, when he's kind of an unconventional lead. And so the story starts with Joker kind of not respected anymore throughout Gotham. Like his following's gone. All he does is like little ticky tack shit to like piss off Batman and the other crime lords like Penguin and Scarecrow, whoever, Riddler. It doesn't matter. He's not respected anymore, and they kind of see through his gimmick. Well, with that, the all like the head honcho criminals get together in kind of like a Godfather or Five Families type situation, and they're able to put aside their differences and design this elaborate plot to kill Batman. And they succeed. Batman dies like 15 minutes into the movie. And then after that, you cut to Joker, and you don't really know why yet, but he's kind of distraught, like begotten about himself, why Batman's dead. And he, instead of, he just goes on a rampage. He kills all the people that were involved and through in Batman's death. That takes about halfway through the movie. So he goes on this vendetta streak where he's deranged, killing everybody. His prominence begins to build. His following begins to build. And then once he kills off whoever the head honcho was that designed it, I don't know. Let's say I don't know why I'm getting hung up on this. Who's a good like Batman villain? It doesn't matter.
Dent or Ra's
Fucking yeah, Dent. Let's say it's Dent. Two-Face. Well, he gets revenge, and then the public finds out, and they're like, They're like, holy shit, Joker is Batman's. He restored order to Gotham. He killed all the bad guys. He did what Batman could not, and that's rid the city of crime. So Joker's following like takes off, so he has more traction than ever with the public and with criminals. But he's kind of lost for the second half of the movie. He doesn't have Gordon is not a good enough adversary to challenge him. So what happens is his gang basically does all the work, and while he's in this spill of depression without having Batman to confront him, he works his way up, takes over the police station, mass riots, whatever, kind of like the end of Joker with Phoenix. Joker takeover. Now now that he's won, he's fully lost. He doesn't know what the fuck to do. So they put him in front of a camera, kind of like it's Joker's Gotham. What's going to happen now? The police are gone. It's your world. And then like his lasting joke to leave society in total chaos is he kills himself in front of everybody. And that's how the movie ends, is he just leaves it in a total fucking anarchical world that the Joker always kind of strive for, because he doesn't have Batman to challenge him anymore. He has no longer a reason to live. So that is my story with Ben Mendelsohn. Ben, give me a call. I'm a big fan. I'll write it up for you. Oh no, who's doing the Batman series now? Matt Reeves, right?
Yeah.
We'll see. But I think I can get that. But that's my Joker story. Does that sound interesting?
I like that a lot. I think putting the Joker in a world where Batman doesn't exist is a storyline that hasn't really been explored that much. And if it has been,
was recently.
But Bruce is in it. But Bruce is in it,
yeah.
And you kind of get the sense
of Thomas, yeah, the Waynes are.
You get the sense of where that's going to go, because
too.
we've seen it before, in a sense. I mean, we haven't seen that type of origin story of the Joker explored before, but we've seen where, in the sense of Joker, Todd Phillips' Joker, like Joker creates Batman instead of Batman creates the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an interesting take on that old tale, because normally it's because Batman dresses up and fights crime and operates kind of outside the law, that births Joker, someone who's insane and dresses up and operates outside the law. So that's an interesting take. I like that.
Yeah. That's what I came up with, where I was like kind of starting him as an underdog, building him back up, but he doesn't care about any of that shit.
Yeah.
He wants the Batman. So it's like a story about Batman and Joker without Batman really being in it. You don't even see them like interact in the movie. So And of course, it's like a 3-hour movie. I mean, let's not kid
Yeah.
ourselves here. Come on, fork over the money, Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers, Montreal, the video game company, just had to shut down and fire people. So they think that the next Batman game uh,
I don't even
is
want
about
it.
is about to hit.
We don't need to get off on that. What is yours?
All right, so
Your
the
thing turned off. Is that all right?
yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm just making
we're
sure.
still recording. We're good. The story I'd like to explore is a story about a younger Batman, but with kind of an older Joker. So, in a sense, it does play off of like that Joker thing where like Batman had to like rise to meet the Joker rather than the Joker had to rise to meet Batman. So
almost like if Joker were to continue.
Joker
Joaquin Phoenix is Joker for clarification.
yes. But it wouldn't be Joaquin Phoenix. It'd be I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd kind of want like an unknown actor. I'd want somebody who would want to be this character for years on end and I mean, I don't
I thought you were gonna go Defoe for a second.
I like Defoe would be like ideal for someone who looks like he's like an older Joker who would be there. But also like, you know, I don't know. Like I feel like I kind of went more in like who would like how the story would go, and
Okay.
I'd worry about like the casting later.
Let's say it's
So,
Defoe because he's the
Let's
man.
say it's Defoe, okay? Because Willem Dafoe, I feel like after his stellar performance in 2002 Spider-Man, like I feel like he needs to come back to the comic book realm. But this Joker's been around for like a couple years. So then you have Bruce's story where he leaves Gotham, he leaves the United States, and he comes back years later because the crime has risen to a point to where Gotham is known worldwide for these wildly insane criminals that constantly get out because there's corrupt police force. There's Commissioner Loeb, who constantly,
Incompetent.
yeah, who's always just written as this incompetent character. And there's dirty mayors, and there's dirty cops. There's always dirty politicians. That basically the city runs on Joker. So it's a usual thing to see people out in clown makeup. Like Joker runs society. Like
Okay.
you'll see more people in clown makeup than you'll see like cops out on the street, and like so much so that like Joker himself has enforced a curfew that like anybody out past like you are at risk of death or you are at risk of like a joke, you are at risk for all of these things. Meanwhile, like Joker is kind of taken up like a young, a young fucking what's his name? Hush.
Oh, is it Thomas Elliot?
Thomas Elliot.
Something like that.
Who
Something Elliot.
So the story of Hush is that he and Bruce Wayne were friends as kids, and then Bruce's dad like messed up a surgery or something like that, and Elliot's parents were killed because of some accident, and Bruce's parents were unable to save him. So then, after Bruce's parents died, Elliot his life goal is to get a bunch of plastic surgery and become Bruce Wayne to defame the Wayne name. So Joker discovers that Elliot wants to do this and has done it. He succeeded.
Mm-hmm. So he looks like Wayne.
So he looks like Bruce Wayne. Joker then uses Hush to take over Wayne Enterprises and start like manufacturing these crazy like Joker weapons and shit like that.
five
like
foot guns.
Yeah, like weapons of like just the laugh gas, fucking like guns that have bang flags that come out the end. Like all of this, like I kind of want like a comic booky like Joker, while also like he still has like these dark elements to him. But so he starts to just like basically just tank Wayne's Wayne Industries like finances like into the ground, like using just Hush. That is what gets Bruce back to Gotham. So Alfred comes, like, goes, finds Bruce. Bruce has been like training to build himself up because he knows like what's going on in Gotham, and he says like enough's enough once he
He's
found
doing
out.
his Rocky montage.
Once he found out that Elliot like takes over like Wayne Enterprise, he's like, no, I'm coming back. So like he and Alfred team up, and like and because like Bruce's finances are in somebody else's hands, they have like all that Alfred has. So basically, like Bruce like builds himself like a like bat suit and like mobile bat cave out of like everyday household like objects and stuff like that. And you've got like a really like down to earth Batman versus like this
The
kingpin.
minimalist Batman.
The minimalist Batman versus like a kingpin Joker and somebody who's pretending to be Wayne. Meanwhile, like, Bruce Wayne does all these Bruce Wayne things and finds all these files and gets his blood tested and all of these other things. Eventually, he exposes Hush on live TV. Joker then kills Hush because, like,
No more use.
because he's impressed that the real Bruce Wayne would come out and like do all these things. So he kills Hush because that plan's over. Because like he knows that like he's not going to have the finances to create like his big 5-foot guns anymore and stuff like that. So he's impressed by Wayne, but like he doesn't think that Bruce Wayne's like money or Bruce Wayne's power can take back Joker City, and that's where Batman comes in. So then with like a little bat cave under his belt, like Batman and Joker kind of meet at the end of the movie, but Joker gets caught, goes to prison, but then there's still a cities wide of Jokers that Batman still has to take care of. So like I feel like this is like something that, and obviously like Willem Dafoe can like come back and be Joker. He'll escape at some point in time. But like I like the idea of a Batman that has to rise to meet Joker rather than a Joker that has to rise and meet Batman. If I had to write him.
Okay. So yours is a installment to a series.
Yes, I would say it's the initial, like, Batman.
A trilogy, of course.
Yeah, I would say like writing a Batman origin story where he has to rise and meet one of his more iconic villains that normally stems from Batman. Like the fact that Batman would stem from the villains, like, could create an interesting Batman arc on top of like a Joker arc that hasn't really been explored yet.
So, in terms of your story, is Batman the main character, or is Joker? Is the screen time kind of split?
I would say like you meet Bruce Wayne and without knowing that it's Thomas Elliot. So you meet Bruce Wayne,
I like that.
and you think like Joker puts his arm around Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, he's putting because he knows that Wayne's really powerful and has a lot of money, but he puts his arm around Thomas Elliot. Elliot tells Joker what the idea is, and then Joker just like uses him. And
I like that twist.
Stuff. Yeah,
I like that. All right, I think that's what we got for today. Our first full-length episode.
Yes.
So, do not forget to like and subscribe, guys. We have a lot of fun doing this. We've only done it twice, but I mean, it's a passion of ours. We like this shit.
Yeah,
we're nerdy.
We went
Come on, help us out.
A 3-minute episode
we like it.
40-minute episode.
Yeah. So, and do not forget to comment if you want your favorite Joker, favorite moment, and if you were to make a movie, what your dream casting would be and who you'd want in the role. And say you didn't like one of the topics. Pick another one. It's not that fucking hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you making us do all the work?
Yeah.
Why don't you start,
I hit the mic. It might have reverbed a little bit.
That's all right.
All right.
Why don't you start doing your own fucking thing here?
And if you like what we just did, go check out our website, charactertheory.com, where we write articles more on a micro level about movie characters individually. And, check those out. And I think that's, do we miss anything?
Nope.
First episode. It was a lot of fun.
First episode, it was awesome. We're gonna try and keep all of our episodes to this sort of, not necessarily the same structure, but we're gonna keep this kind of format. We're gonna have a couple of talking segments about each character every week, and we're gonna try and go every week for right now.
And if there's anything you think we can do to improve the show, please let us know.
Please, yes, it helps. I'm
sorry if the lighting's a little weird this week. One of mine crapped out.
Yeah.
Hopefully it looks good. I don't know. We'll see. And yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
We'll see you next week.
Time.